In 2014, bus benches began disappearing around Arvada.
153 bus benches were removed by a company called CBS Outdoor.
The disappearing act turned out not to be such a mystery, just a business decision by CBS Outdoor.
They decided to change their business model and no longer use benches for advertising and remove the benches in November of 2014.
The decision left RTD bus riders standing out in the cold.
We had several complaints from residents as well as employees.
The Arvada Parks Department came to the rescue with temporary benches at a few locations.
One being 52nd and Wadsworth. The Costco employees really wanted to sit down after a long day of standing at work.
But the city didn't want to get into the bus bench business.
That would be a huge cost and a lot of maintenance.
And typical bus bench companies make their money from advertising.
The city doesn't really have an advertising arm to it, so we'd rather that be left to the private sector.
So it went looking for a new bus bench provider.
Through a request for proposal process in 2015, the city selected Creative Outdoor Advertising to replace benches that were removed by CBS, as well as take over all of our benches in the city to have a comprehensive approach to transit amenities for our residents.
The city now has a 10-year agreement with Creative Outdoor Advertising, which plans to install a bus bench model it calls the Lexington.
They're black iron, and they have a large space for businesses to be able to get their message out to the community, to everyone who lives and works in the area. It is a very economical way for businesses to be able to get their message out because it is available on the street for people to see as they go by. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
So Creative Outdoor Advertising will begin installing benches in mid-February throughout the summer of 2016, with some of the priority areas being the places where we lost benches.
Each bench has to be permitted with the city.
It's actually a revenue generator. So Creative Outdoor will pay an annual fee to essentially lease the right-of-way from the city each year.
About 100 benches are scheduled initially. But with the Gold Line opening in 2016, some bus routes may change to feed to the 3 new commuter rail stations coming to Arvada.
And so we don't want to install benches in those areas until we have new bus routes.
But the wait will soon be over, and by the end of 2016, bus riders in Arvada should find the problem of the disappearing bus benches solved.